All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is This Family Life, and today I am bringing you more grocery saving tips from my household to yours. And so we decided to kind of work on this one together. This is something that myself and my daughter, my son, and my husband all kind of collaborated on because sometimes it's hard for me to think of all the things that I do that might be helpful to someone. So we kind of played off of the idea of cheaper by the dozen on this one, okay? So we thought about trying to come up with 12 tips that we could give you on ways to make your grocery budget cheaper and more affordable, right? So we're just gonna go over them quickly. I'm not gonna do like a 1 hour discussion on each one. It would be way too long of a video, but cheaper by the dozen, 12 tips that will help you out in the grocery store. So number one, it's time to start reverse meal planning. So you've got to quit like going online and finding 7 recipes you want to try for the week. Sorry, I had a wasp fly right at my head. 7 recipes that you want to try for the week and then go to the store and buy all of those ingredients. That's not going to help you because you're not going to be able to save money. You're not going to be able to get everything on sale that you need. So what you've got to start doing is understanding what you have on hand to work with and start planning your meals and your recipes out around those items. So number one, reverse meal plan, okay? Number two, make a grocery list and stick to it. If you are the type of person that impulse buys a lot, maybe don't go to the store. Like you can even do, Walmart pickup, you can do Kroger pickup. I'm not a big fan of those things because I don't often like the substitutions that they give me or the out of stocks that I know aren't out of stock. But I do make a list and I do stick to it. Other than going to the clearance areas, I try not to deviate from the list that I have because those are the items I know on sale. They're good deals and that's what I need to stock up on. So number 3, try to go meatless 1 day a week. I know this one is really difficult, but we do this pretty frequently actually, where we will do nachos night. We'll do like a nacho night, bean, cheese, toppings like sour cream, lettuce, tomato, all that kind of stuff, but we don't put any meat on it. Or we'll do tostadas the same way. Or we will do a breakfast for dinner and we'll do pancakes, or we'll do like an egg casserole type thing. So try to go meatless 1 night a week if you need to for your budget, because it is a budget saver. Meat is so expensive right now. So unless you're getting it on sale and you're stocking it up, you might think about doing a meatless dinner once a week if possible, right? Number 4, buy more less expensive foods that you like to eat. Buy more less expensive foods that you like to eat. So we really like fish, like salmon. It's very expensive. I think I saw recently it's $9-10 a pound. We also like chicken that we can get for sometimes as low as 49 cents a pound. And so we buy more chicken. Okay, we buy more chicken, but it's something we'll eat. We also like steak. We love steak, but steak is very expensive. And so we don't buy a lot of steak, but we do buy a lot of hamburger that we use in different recipes. So buy more of the less expensive foods that you like to eat. Save those expensive foods for a one-off meal, like once a month or once a quarter. We usually don't even do a steak night once a month. We do it about once a quarter. So when I find steak on sale, I'll get it, buy it, put it up. And then about once a quarter, I will pull it out and we'll have a steak dinner at home. So number 5, stretch your meals by prepping an extra meal or batch cooking. So when I make a meal at home, if I've got freezer space, I'm already making it. It's just as quick to make 2. Okay, especially like if I'm gonna make lasagna or something that I know will freeze well, I'll go ahead and make the one that I'm cooking for that night and I'll make a second one and get it prepped and everything and into the freezer. That way sometime all I have to do when I want lasagna is just pull it out and put it in the oven. Not only is it saving me time and it's easier, but it's already ready, right? So I don't have to worry about it. And there's times where you may forget like to lay anything down for dinner and you can just pull that out and shove it straight into the oven and let it cook, okay? Because it's already prepped, it's already ready to go. It just needs to heat up in the oven, okay? And then batch cook. So you've heard me preach this for breakfast. Don't just make a few pancakes. Make a whole box of pancakes and then freeze them in baggies with parchment paper between them. And then you can pull those out and have breakfast pre-made for your kids, okay? So number 6, know your food budget and plan accordingly. So this kind of goes back to your list and sticking to your list too. If you've sat down and you know that you have $75 a week for groceries, then you can plan accordingly to only spend $75 a week on groceries. If you do not know what your grocery budget is because you're not going to figure that out, you're not going to take the time to do it, you will overspend on groceries. And I still to this day, like, it cracks me up, and I don't want to say it cracks me up because it sounds mean, but it cracks me up when I'm listening to other moms talk about, I spent $600 this week on groceries for a family of 4 and we've got nothing to eat. How in this day and age are you letting that happen? And so know your food budget and plan accordingly. One mom that I know of was talking about how she didn't even have, like, she was so tired that night and she just didn't have it in her to cook, and she just wanted to pick up fast food and she couldn't. She was like, we have $17 to make it until I get paid in 2 weeks. And the other mom was like, well, have you bought groceries? And she said, yeah, I spent $1,000 on groceries. And I'm thinking, how did you spend $1,000 on groceries? That makes no sense to me. You had no clue what your budget was. And I would love to see her receipts and see what she bought, because you could tell there was no plan, there was no forethought, there was no planning involved in that. So know your food budget and plan accordingly, okay? So number 7, shop at the beginning of your sales cycles, because the longer you wait into the sales cycle, the more and more items are going to be sold out. Now you can still get a rain check and you can go back and buy it later, but the problem is you've worked it into this week's current budget. And then if you have to go back and buy it at a later time, you're going to have to work it into that week's budget. And so that could take away from sales that are happening that week. So I do recommend that you buy as quickly into the sales cycle as you can to avoid those sort of issues with out of stock items. Now, I don't always hit the sales right away on a Wednesday. I usually wait until whatever day there are 4 times the fuel points or double the fuel points. But sometimes that's too late to get something, and then I end up with a rain check, and then I have to work it in later. And so that's just part of it. Number 8, avoid extra trips to the store during the week. This is one thing I try to do, is I pick a day to shop and I hit my stores and I'm done and I'm out for the week. I try not to make any extra runs to the store unless, one, kids need something, like somebody's sick, somebody's got a school project, you know how that goes. Or number 2 is if I missed a good deal. So I do follow several websites that will come out with matchup deals, and that's easy to do. You just Google your store and look for websites to do matchups. And so occasionally they'll come up with something midweek and be like, hey, we just found out that if you use this Ibotta deal and this Kroger coupon, you can get this item for this price. And it's such a good price that I'm willing to stop back in and get it. But then I'm in and out like that. I go in, I get the one item, I get back out of the store. I don't allow myself to get sucked back in to walk in those aisles and looking for other things. I won't even go look at the clearance stuff. Those extra trips, I just go in, I get the thing I need, and I get out. So number 9, this is a funny one that we came up with. You've heard of don't shop hungry, which I'm a big fan of. Don't shop when you're hungry, because then you're going to want all the extra snacks and all the extra goodies. But mine is don't shop with your husband and don't shop with your kids. My kids, when they go to the grocery store with me, it's constant. Can we get a Squishmallow? Can we get a candy? Can we get a Starbucks drink? Can we get this? Can we get that? And the next thing you know, if you give into those things, which maybe you're a stronger parent than me and you don't let them have anything in the store, and that's great. But I'm going to end up giving up. I'm going to give in on something, right? I know I will. And so it quickly adds up. And then it's like, okay, well, now my savings from my grocery run is gone because I let them get a Squishmallow a piece, and that ended up costing what I saved on the groceries. And my husband can be the same way. I love it when he does go to the store with me, but he'll be like, well, why can't we just get these chips? Or I'm going to go ahead and grab a soda at the checkout, or this or that. And the next thing I know, he's easily added $10 or $15 to my grocery budget because he's grabbed 3 or 4 things throughout the store. So I say don't shop hungry, but also don't shop with anyone else. Unless it's like a partner that you go with that's of the same mindset. Like when me and my mom go grocery shopping together, we know like this is what we're looking for, and that's it. So number 10, if you are only going to buy a couple of things, don't get a big buggy. Okay, my Kroger has the little smaller, like 2-stack buggies, or the handheld buggies. Don't get a big cart if you're only picking up a few things, because the next thing you know, you're going to start filling up that cart and you're going to end up buying way more than you meant to. And it happens. I've seen it happen. I fell victim to it too. So get the smaller cart, because then it's like, oh, I don't have room for it, and that's not what I came here for, right? Okay, so number 11, decide what you can live without when the price is too high. Okay, prices are really high right now. And not only are prices really high, sizes are shrinking. And so you have to decide what's worth it and what's not worth it for you and your family. In my family, we have decided on several things that are just no longer worth it for us. Cereal is just no longer worth it for us. When you're only going to get a couple of days, sorry, I'm itchy, it's hot. When you're only going to get a couple of days worth of cereal out of a box, when you've got 2 kids and it's $7-8 a box, it's no longer worth it. Okay, it's no longer worth it. Buying name brand butter over store brand butter when I know it's only going to last me 4 recipes and it's going to be gone, and I'm not going to taste it anyways because it's in a recipe. I can live without the name brand butter. Okay, name brand milk. I used to always buy the organic milk in the cartons because it does have a longer date on it, but my kids go through milk. And so it's not really a problem to just buy the regular milk, especially when it's on sale for 99 cents at the store versus $5.99 for a carton. It's ridiculous. So we've had to decide, what can we live without when the price is just too high? And when it's on sale, great, I'll still buy it. But what can we live without if the price is too high? We live without a lot of things. We don't buy a lot of junk food unless it's on sale. And when it is, I'll buy it and stock up on it. And the kids know they have to make it last. Like those last 5 packages of Oreos you saw me buy, we still have 3 of them. So they know. Like if I go through it, if I blow through it, fine. Hope you enjoyed it, because I'm not going to be buying anymore because the price is too high. Not going to do it. So they know. And so that's part of it. You have to figure out, what are you willing to give up when the prices just get too high? Soda, we gave it up. Bye. Soda's too expensive. And so you'll figure it out. You'll figure out what you want to get rid of. And last, but certainly not least, this one ties into a lot of the other ones that I've already talked about. Shop your fridge and your pantry first. Okay? So it goes into reverse meal planning. You've got to know what you have before you know what you need to buy. You've got to know what you have before you can make a list of what you need and stick to that list. So it's important to kind of have a stockpile, know what you have. I would love to say inventory it, but I have tried that like 86,212 times. And I make it through one freezer and I'm just shot and I'm done and I don't care anymore. Or I'll make it through the rack in the pantry to the bottom shelf and then I take a break and then I never go back, and the next thing I know it's all off again. So I'm not the best at inventorying, but I am the best at going and checking those areas before I go to the store. So definitely know what you have on hand, shop there first. Then if you don't have something, add it to your list that you need. Now, I'm not saying never cook a special recipe, okay? I'm the world's worst right here about wanting to make things with sour cream and not having sour cream. I do this all the time. And so there are times where I have to like run to the store and grab some sour cream or whatever. And I don't care if it's on sale. I don't, because I need it for the recipe. It's fine. But that's a quick in and out, right? But I will shop my pantry first and I know, okay, I've got all of the things to make tuna casserole. Or I don't even know if tuna casserole is the one I'm talking about, honestly. Tetrazzini, chicken tetrazzini. I'll pull all the ingredients out. I'm like, yes, I'm definitely making chicken tetrazzini. And then I forgot, crap, I don't have the sour cream. So it's okay if you've got to buy one ingredient, but it's not okay when you just start picking random meals and the next thing you know, you've got 46 ingredients you've got to go to the store for. I was watching a YouTube video the other night that kind of cracked me up. The couple was making some chicken strips for the first time, and they decided to like go all out, right, and make this fancy recipe of chicken strips, but they were showing all the things they had to buy in order to make them. And so I'm sitting here thinking like, man, Those are some expensive chicken strips. Like, if y'all would stop and look at everything you had to buy, because we're talking buttermilk, Parmesan cheese, panko breadcrumbs, organic chicken, 2 pounds of organic chicken tenders. There were several other things that they got to go in there as well. And I'm sure they were delicious chicken strips. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they were. But what just cracked me up was the cost of those chicken strips was astronomical because they didn't have any of those ingredients at home. And so they, just went to the store and bought everything it told them to buy. And so I don't do that. If I look up a recipe and I don't have any of those ingredients, I'll save it for down the road, and possibly try to work it in somewhere or wait till I have some of those items in stock. But rarely do I do that because I'm going to look for recipes that are built around the items that I already have at home. So shop your fridge, shop your pantry, shop your freezer first. That's why you have all of that stuff there, so that you can utilize it first. Plus, it's going to help prevent food waste, which is just wasting money, okay? When you throw out food, you might as well just take out your wallet and light it on fire, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're lighting your money on fire. You are throwing your food away. So I saw a figure the other day that said the average American throws out 30 to 40% of all food that they buy. We don't do that in my house. Very rarely do we throw away anything food-wise. And that's only if it's set in the fridge for a few days and everyone's already kind of had their fill of leftovers. So very rarely do we throw away food. In fact, the food that ends up getting thrown away in this house is food that's brought in from restaurants. Every time we go out to eat, somebody's got to bring some food home with them, because they didn't finish it at the restaurant. That stuff never gets eaten. It always gets thrown in the trash, because to-go food just is never as good as homemade food. And so, homemade, they'll eat it, and they'll eat the leftovers. So that's good. So that's the 12 tips we came up with for cheaper by the dozen. So I hope some of those will be really useful for you. I will give you a quick life update. It is still 108 degrees here in Texas. I am about to melt. I'm about to sweat to death. But I do like to come outside to record for you guys because it's much quieter out here than it is in my house. And as long as no one lets the dog out, it stays that way. And so that's why I come outside to record. So just bear with me when you see me scratch or go like this. It is hot. It is very hot out here. But anyways, that's what I have for you for this week's savings tips. What I'm thinking about doing for the next video is actually a few items that I would stock up on going into fall and winter. So that is what I am shooting to do for the next grocery tips video, is maybe trying to come up with 10 items for you guys that if you stock up on these, you'll find that they're really versatile ingredients to use for some of our favorite fall and winter foods. So that is what I'm going to start working on for next week. As you can see, I typed up my list. This is after we wrote it out like 5 different times in order to come up with the best tips that we could for this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. We will see you in the next grocery tips video. Have a great day. Bye.